It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
The burden is on the league if we're going to discipline a team, an owner, a player, or in any of the constituent members of the league. I think as a matter of fundamental fairness, I would be reluctant to act if there was sort of a mere appearance of impropriety. I think the goal of a full investigation is to find out if there really was impropriety.
You want to leave the league in a better place than when you found it, and I think just the way that you see the skill level right now, the way that the range is kind of taking over, and guys shooting threes all over the court, but just from 1 through 5 and all the way down the roster, I think this is the most skilled, era of basketball history, and so
there's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall. There's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, by another example, that is advertising based that consumers can consume.
Adam Silver and Steph Curry hitting multiple points of conversation there. Adam Silver saying fans who can't afford the streaming services or the cable and satellite packages should just find the free highlights. Man, be careful what you wish for, I guess. Enough people find the free highlights. How do you get all that TV money? Not really worried about the people you've talked about on a regular basis, PK, the people who consume sports. You think of older relatives or friends, shut-ins and all that, and people on fixed incomes getting left behind here. Not surprising, but maybe not great either.
Yeah, this is catching me off guard. I hadn't heard this. I didn't know of these comments, so I'm not really sure how to respond right now.
I can tell you there is a generation that doesn't want to sit still for 2 or 3 hours and watch full games. I know. I'm related to some of them. And my oldest kid is a sports fan, but did you watch the game? No, but I checked out the highlights. For a generation for me, that doesn't seem like enough, but for him, it's exactly what he wants. And so he does it. And I'd be careful about, wishing that because you're not getting paid for that. I suppose at some point, if it became a big issue down the road, they could start charging for those. They control those highlights. Those are highlights edited out of the games that they're getting $75 billion for over the next 11 years in the case of the NBA.
Yeah, but
it's common for a lot of sports.
Does he have a team?
In some sports, yes, and others, no, and this is how he consumes multiple sports. But I get your point. How deep is the buy-in? And I would say his buy-in is a little less.
Yeah, you're going to watch your team.
More.
It's like baseball. Baseball ratings are good locally, regionally, but not as good nationally. You get to the playoff, it's another story.
Because I think that's because they
watch your team.
Yeah. I think that's because they play every day. There's no time to consume another team.
Yeah, but they basically play every day in the NBA. I don't care about watching the Miami Heat, so I don't watch them.
Right.
But I watch the Jazz. And I think a lot of people are like that.
Adam Silver also talking about the Clipper investigation. It's a high bar. You can't go with the thought that something probably happened. If he's going to discipline one of his employers, he wants to absolutely know for a fact it happened.
That's bold.
Well, he's got 29 other employers who, if they think it happened, I wonder how much of a smoking gun they need. So,
I don't know.
See how that plays out. Steph Curry says this is the most skilled era of basketball ever.
And somebody from the 80s and 90s says that was the most skilled era. So,
and the debate goes on.
Steph, if he revolutionized the game, is that good? Because I get tired of seeing clank, 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 clank. And is that something to be proud of? Anybody can shoot threes. That's not the skill. It's about making them. And then you see a slew of missed threes. That gets awfully boring quickly, at least for me.
Yeah, I think people would respond and say that this is the best people have ever shot the three, to which I think the response would be, well, okay, but is that good enough for each individual consumer? I mean, they certainly shoot the three at a better rate than they did, the Magic's Lakers and Birds Celtics, and even Jordan's Bulls.
They didn't practice.
I know. It wasn't a thing. Yeah.
I don't think that's anything to brag about, though.
But I think that's the primary thing he's hanging his argument on.
Well, okay, but and in 25 years they'll be better than they are now. If you practice something, you're going to get better at it.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Any further sense about whether Brock will be able to play on Sunday?
I think it's a long shot.
Is it possible that Purdy's injury could be a multi-week thing?
That's possible.
And that's the toe more so than the shoulder.
Yes.
Did someone step on his foot in the pocket? Do you know how the toe injury happened?
Yeah, I think it happened scrambling. I think when Love tackled him by the sideline. I believe it happened.
Were you aware he was playing through that in the game, or is it just something you found out later?
And I was aware. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't try to, it just happened. Like, I got pushed. I'm like, what? Thought I was like outside. I wasn't even thinking about me being out there on the field, but my apologies to that, whoever that was. I don't know who it was. My apologies to him. Like, just chill next time. Just, you can talk trash and stuff, but keep your hands to yourself.
Ben's my friend. He's always going to be my friend, but that nothing about that's going to change, We're going in getting ready to play Chicago. We're going to win this game. We have to.
That is Lions head coach Dan Campbell, and he says the Bears head coach Ben Johnson will always be his friend. This is the first time they're going against each other because the Lions are hosting the Bears this weekend. See a lot of that in coaching, don't you? Over time, people used to work together and then they end up competing against each other.
It's not a new story, that's for
not
sure.
at all. No. Kyle Whittingham, Kalani Sitake here would be one example, and there are plenty of them. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan announcing Brock Purdy is unlikely to play this week, could miss multiple weeks. I saw a report 2 to 5, which is a pretty wide range. Niners coming up shorthanded early in the season. And you heard Lamar Jackson in there apologizing to the Bills fan that he shoved. Keep your hands to yourself.
Both ways.
Yeah, right?
But, yeah, I wouldn't know how I would react in that situation if I'm Lamar Jackson. It's easy to criticize him, but until you're right there and you see something like that, is that like bases loaded and the score is tied in the bottom of the ninth inning in a World Series, but the ball is thrown at your head? And what are you going to do?
How are you going to react?
You're going to duck. Even though if it hits you in the shoulder, you win the World Series.
Yeah, right.
But your natural reaction is to get the heck out of the way.
Yeah. And
I wonder if your natural reaction is to do what he did. I mean, hands were on each other. But what would prompt the fan to think that? And there's been so many instances of these types of things with fans that it should be now, get away, hands behind your back, hands up, hands in your pocket. Just don't do that.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
SEC coach is expressing support for the proposed move of college football's transfer portal from December to January, arguing that it's the best option even if it conflicts with the college football playoff schedule. The proposed move would open the portal on January 2nd for 10 days, immediately following the college football playoff quarterfinals. Ohio State coach Ryan Day expressed he is not a fan of the move. He's concerned about assembling a roster while still competing in the playoffs. College football. Can't get us out of its own way, and it doesn't seem to matter. We love it more all the time anyway.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
It doesn't really make sense, does it, building a roster before the current season is over? Can you imagine Major League Baseball
opening
opening
free agency in August? It doesn't make sense for coaches to quit when they have a game to play. So, it doesn't make sense for Mario Cristobal to be talking with Miami when he's got a Pac-12 title. I don't want to hear it.
So can they minimize that? Maybe they can't ever stop it. Maybe it's just normal and people can do whatever they're going to do. But moving the recruiting day up from February to December, did that help? I would say no. I would say it put more pressure on everyone to make decisions more quickly, which leads players and teams to say, yeah, I'm in the middle of a season with you, but I'm more worried about next season. I'm going to take care of me right now. But if they move that date back to February, move everything back, and then people are going to say, well, then it screws the academics because the kids are in the middle of the semester.
I think you're overthinking it, man. Yeah. By May 1st, whatever team you're on, that's the team you're on. And everyone's a free agent. There is no transfer portal window. everyone can go at any time. Because essentially, if you sue the NCAA, that's what they would end up doing anyway. Sometimes more rules isn't necessarily the answer.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
1-1. And that is drilled deep to left field. Back is low Perfido. Kiss it goodbye. Into the Blue Jays bullpen. Correa homers for a second straight day. The 200th home run of Carlos Correa's career. And the Astros go up 2-0.
Here's the pitch. And Mookie swings, hits a drive, deep left center. It is back. It is a grand slam for Mookie Betts. Oh, a Mookie moment here. Mookie Betts on a 3-0 pitch. It is 8-0.
1-0. And a swing and a high drive, right field. It's got a chance. Soto back on the track, looking up at the wall, and it's gone. Towering home run from Bryce Harper. That's number 25 on the season. Solo shot, then it's 9-1 Phillies.
And the pitch on the way to Leo. Not Buddy swinging. Fly ball. Deep right field down the line. Walk it off. Leo Rivas. A walk-off 2-run home run. Goodbye, baseball. The Mariners sweep the Cardinals in the 3-game series. The Mariners win it 4-2.
Mariners get the win. The Mariners and the Astros, a good race going on in the AL West. Astros also win. They beat the Blue Jays 3-2. Blue Jays, good race in the AL East, but despite their loss, they're in good shape because the Red Sox and the New York Yankees both went down to defeat. So all of the big three lose. Tigers absolutely blasting the Yankees 11-1.
Yankees gave up 10 or more runs in consecutive games. Guess how many times it's happened in Yankee history?
10 or more runs in consecutive games. 1.
0. Now 1.
Now 1. Red Sox don't make up any ground. They lose to the Athletics in Sacramento 5-4. I mean, the pressure on when you play the Athletics, when you play who actually are below 500 but no longer horrific, 13 games under. You play the Rockies, who've been horrific. The pressure to win seems immense. You can't mess this up. And yet it happens.
Pressure for who?
Whoever's playing them. I mean, at this point, it's the Red Sox. Don't they look at the Athletics thinking we ought to take these guys out? And they can't.
You don't think the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're going to make it.
I mean, you're not going to. Well, what pressure is that?
Win the division. Get home field for the wild card round. Playing at Fenway.
To the Athletics. Did you expect to win every game against every team that's under 500?
No, but I do against the Athletics. Mentally, I have in my mind they're terrible. The Dodgers did it to the Rockies.
You and the brand.
The Dodgers did it to the Rockies, 9-0. 2 hit the Rockies. Mookie Betts with the grand slam. And they pull a game up further in front of the Padres as the Reds beat the Padres 2-1. And the Reds in the wild card race. 2 games back now, tied with the Giants. 2 games behind the Mets as the Giants and Mets both lose. Multiple races, which is why they added these wild cards. Bees win again. They're playing Tacoma. They win 8-4. They'll play again tonight, 7 o'clock here on The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Well, there's some impressive prospects there, and it's not too often that you have that many first-rounders actually going to a rookie camp. So it's exciting to kind of see the Daniel Boots of the world and the Simashevs and the Koboduans and the T.J. Ginlas coming in here, fighting for a job. It's exciting times, and I think you can sense that when you're in the meetings with those guys. Like they're hungry to come out here and make an impression. And this is the first step. A lot of those kids come in the summer and say, "Hey, I want to make the team," and well, this is the first step to do that.
There's Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Utah Mammoth, and so the process begins. Rookie camp, then a veterans camp, then preseason games, and then the season opener.
And then the playoffs.
Yeah. Now you're talking. They did that at the brand new training facility in Sandy there in the Southtown Mall. Rebranded, new training facility, becoming more permanent. I mean, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of things happen in such a short time.
Right? All right, that is what is trending. There are the headlines. Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Barry Trammell's coming up 8 o'clock. Talk Big 12 football with him and Frank Dolce at 9. Also, later this morning, we'll give away tickets to see RSL and Sporting Kansas City Saturday night if you want to go to the game. That's coming up later this morning as well. DJ and PK, hot takes or toast. The question of the day is next. Stay with us.